Five by number W. William 003-285 399-603. That's Trempe.
Since we're the 28 registered studio with 1 million lumens, green in color, 808.
Water tap 28, please. 285 399.
We first started seeing methamphetamine as a real emerging problem back in the mid to late 90s. And it was still relatively new. I mean, there had always been meth around. Meth dates back to World War II and beyond. But it became a noticeable problem here in the late 90s, and it continued to get worse. What the drug itself does is overstimulate your system. It's made from a variety of really nasty, toxic things like red devil lye, anhydrous ammonia, acetone, muriatic acid, just horrible things. Certainly after a couple of times we see many people become addicted to the drug, and when that addiction sets in, it runs their life. They get skin lesions, visible sores on their skin that don't heal, and pretty soon they cover their body. The people become restless, they don't sleep, they don't eat, they get very paranoid. And if you start to combine these things, you can see why the drug would be so dangerous, and they're especially dangerous for us when we enter their homes to try and effect an arrest.
And this is one of those drugs that we have to be able to have a credible message to our young adults. This is something you can't experiment with. This is something you can't just try recreationally. And all of a sudden, out of the woodwork comes these two young women, Christy Treadle and Rochelle Olson, and they're volunteering to be the ambassadors, if you will, to area students. Who would have more credibility in trying to make that case to students than students themselves?
Well, we set many goals, but our main goal was just to raise awareness throughout Morrison County, to get to all the schools and the businesses, just to inform all the community members.
Yeah, we started mainly as a DECA project, and I heard from one of my friends that in Morrison County there are different meth task forces. So we decided to check one of those out at the courthouse I believe it was August, and we were just like, wow, this is cool. We joined the prevention/education task force.
So they show up at a task force meeting one night, and they start talking about their DECA project and how they're trying to reduce meth use among high school students and build awareness about it. And you only had to spend a little bit of time with these young women to figure out that, these were some exceptional young women.
To start off, we appeared in front of the county board with a proclamation that we created, and they approved it, stating that meth awareness was officially February 5th through the 9th in Morrison County. And we got teachers involved. We asked all teachers if they would be willing to add some meth information into their week's curriculum. Like the science department looked over the chemicals used to produce meth and its molecular structure. And so the students were, hearing it from us and seeing all our posters, and they were also getting it in their classes.
Monday was the kickoff to meth awareness. We spoke with our announcements. Tuesday was wear sweat clothes to show that living meth-free is no sweat. And Wednesday was wear clothes backwards to show that you're turning your back to meth. And Thursday was wear red to promote meth awareness. And Friday was the judging of our poster contest that the intro art classes created. They just created different posters to help promote our week.
So we were given the IQ magazines from the task force, but they were created by the Initiative Foundation, and we distributed them throughout the different businesses in Morrison County, and it specifically talks about methamphetamine in Minnesota. Not only are we just saying, hey, will you display this, we're saying, hey, this is what we're doing. Will you help support us by displaying this? And also have them share some information to the rest of the community.
Every parent should be concerned that their kid could be exposed to this, and we all like to think our kids make nothing but smart choices, but none of us are really that stupid. We know kids do risky things, they make bad choices, especially if they fall in with the wrong group. And when we heard about the project that Rochelle and Christy were putting on, it spoke volumes about their willingness to step up, try and address the problem with their peers. I think it's especially brave sometimes to talk about substance abuse in a high school setting, because we all know kids sometimes can be cruel and they can tease and they can pick at other kids that are trying to get out there and make a difference. And that's why the project that the girls tackled here was so beneficial, not just to the school, but really to the community as a whole.
Any way you become involved, even if it seems to be an issue that's too tough to cover, or you feel that you won't be able to impact your targeted group, it's just so important to at least try. And like, we had no idea coming into it how what big of a project this was going to become, and that it would kind of turn into our life a little bit at times, and how involved we would become.
This generation of young people that I think I see in Christy and Rochelle remind me more of the World War II generation, and that outreach, that sort of optimism that they can make the world a better place. And that encourages me a great deal when I see that, and I wonder to myself whether this won't be the next greatest generation.
When methamphetamine threatened their friends and classmates, 2 young women stepped out of the shadows and into the fight. What began as a high school project grew into a county-wide campaign to open eyes and save lives. Joining forces with students, teachers, business, and government leaders, Rochelle and Christy delivered a counterpunch that resounded across Minnesota. Posters, presentations, broadcasts, curriculum, every medium delivered the same message: meth kills. Volunteering hundreds of hours, they gave many of their most memorable days and ventured where few teenagers dare to travel: outside the crowd. For refusing to allow their age to limit their goals, the Initiative Foundation and Minnesota Power are proud to honor Rochelle Olson and Christy Treadle of Little Falls as our 2007 Outstanding Youth. Please welcome them to the stage to accept the award.